So it's good. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, haven't checked yet, so I think are we all okay? We've all got the essays done, yes, I think? Yeah, is it just put onto the OneNote? Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry, it's not there yet at the moment, Nadine. Don't worry, just do it when you've got a study page. Just sort of either email it me or just pop it into the OneNote and just tell me where it is. But that's fine. I just want to double check. Right, so we're looking at the one on history today, and as you can see, a little plain one. I mean, this one came across, yeah. I came across this kind of idea. Sometimes you think about it, history. You can't just break it down because you can't think about it as being his story. Yeah. And again, if we think about that in relation to some of the poems that we've looked at so far, you can think about, the Long Queen, beautiful. We've got some ideas there. And as the meme says, then if we're all being taught his story, then who's teaching her story? And a few questions just to get you down, get you going on this. Again, this ties in a little bit with the assembly we had the other week on about equality within Middleton and beyond, that sort of idea, and if we all thought that we were being sort of treated on equal footing, things like that, and I want you to think about institutions. Do they hold a masculine version of history? Is it given from a male perspective, do you think? I mean, I think about obviously your own kind of experience of history lessons that you've had, and think about the courses that you're doing now. Is there a kind of equal input from both male and female, would you say? Is there equal sort of importance given to male and female points of view within the curriculum itself, the syllabus that you explore? And then specifically thinking about history, how have they been viewed through history? Are women neglected? Are they missed off? Do women suffer more than the males? I mean, again, think about that. What do we call it? A program the other night, because obviously we're getting lots of these things as we come up to the anniversary of COVID in the year-long sort of lockdown and whatnot that we've had. And there was one, I think it might have been Panorama, that did that one about saying that women leaders tended to have been better leaders throughout COVID. The countries that had a female prime minister tended to appear to have weathered the storm far better than ones that are run with male prime ministers. Why might that be the case? And are women just getting presented as victims through history? Those sorts of ideas. So, what I'd like to do for me first, a little kind of that box of that meme. I want you to think about it. Again, think back to it, because everybody will have done history, through Key Stage 3, Year 7, 8, 9. You'll have done some aspect of history. I want you to think about what you can remember from your history lessons. And how do you think women have been presented in those lessons to you? And what you've studied from the books. Yeah. Forgive you what? 5-8 minutes just to jot down your thoughts there, but think about your experience of that specific subject. Have you felt included in it? Has it reflected you culturally? Has it reflected you and your interests? Or has it been very male driven? Okay. Okay, let's get some ideas from you. So, Nadine, how do you think? What- What's your sort of feeling about the way that women are represented in history?
Like World War I, that's when like women just seem to be like stay at home and look after kids.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, in a way, isn't it? It's one of the areas in history where women do get talked about a lot, isn't it? World War One. Now, obviously, they're not going to have to fight, but what role do they take on during the First World War? Yeah, yeah. And so they get seen as doing a really important job in their own right, that they're spoken about. And they become financially independent for the first time, really, because obviously they get the wages then, and the husband, however, is away at the war. So they then get control of all the finances and give them that independence. But what is the expectation when women, when the war's over? Yeah, and that was never going to happen. Yep. That's a really good one to start off with, Nadine. Thank you. Theon, what about you?
Like it's not really, history isn't really inclusive, like for women or other people as long as there's a huge chunk of Black history taught.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it tends not to be, yeah, it's not just women, but you see the other races, cultures, yeah, as well. Nadine, back to you. Anything else you want to add on to this list?
And like that they shouldn't be involved in political things, like they weren't given the vote and stuff. So
And again, obviously, that ties in beautifully with the first one you talked about, the First World War. It always was as well, isn't it? Women can't be trusted with the water. Politics isn't for you. It's not. Let the men decide, that sort of thing. You think about it. Can you get anything more patronising than just saying, "Leave it to us"? Of course, we've made such a good job of things up until now. That sort of idea, isn't it? But there's that real battle, and of course, the suffragette movement comes to prominence just before World War One, and again after it as well, driving that sort of change. Okay, Fiona?
It's just like male orientated, like the influential figures that.
Yeah, yeah. Which good. Yeah, it does seem to be male-centred, yeah, as you say in history, which leads me on to, yeah, very nicely. I couldn't have asked you to give me a better way into this if I tried for you. And what I want you to do now, another game. I want you to write down in your OneNotes. I want you to do it now. I'll give you, yeah. Well, if we do this within 5 minutes, yeah. So I want you to write down the names of any important women from history that you can recall, just off the top of your head, right? Anyway, and it can be any aspect of history. History covers everything, sort of thing. And once you've exhausted the women that you can do, I want you then to do the same beneath that, and then name as many male historical figures as you can. And I said, right, it's 11:11 now. I'll give you till 11:20. So that's almost like 4.5 minutes each gender. So when you run out of ideas, let's say for maybe a woman that you can mention, just go straight on to then listing as many males as you can from history. And also you've got the whole range of history. I'm not just talking about modern history, I'm talking go way back as far as you can remember in history that you've been taught, back to Shakespeare, earlier, 13th century, 12th century. Okay, let's go. So let's start off with women. Let's see how many we can get to. So, Fionn, do you want to kick us off? Give us a name of an important woman from history. Joan of Arc. Oh yeah, good one. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I meant Rosa Parks, but that's the other one.
What you meant?
Rosa Parks, you know what I mean?
Oh, sorry, Rosa Parks.
That's another one.
Hey, oh yeah. Thanks to masks, we'll keep Joan in there for later on.
It's so annoying.
No, isn't it just the team?
I'm Frank.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Oops, what's that? Yeah. Yeah. Good one. Back to you.
Florence Nightingale.
Yeah.
Oprah.
Oprah Winfrey. Yeah. Very modern, but yeah. It's age, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Emily Parker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anna Cleves. Anna Cleves.
Anne of Cleves, did you say? Yeah. Was she one that got a? Was
She's
she one of the ones got beheaded? Yeah. Okay, Fionn?
Cleopatra.
Yeah. Dean?
Amelia Earhart.
Oh, that's a good one. Is she? Is it Amelia? Amelia? Can you remember? Yeah. Oh, how do you spell her surname? Amelia. Is it Earhart? Earhart.
Like Earhart. I think it was. Can't remember where I remember it.
I'm just going to Google. I'm just not sure. You're right. Earhart. Yeah. Yeah. Give me one note. That's a good one. I like that one. Yeah. Fionn.
Cameron Harris.
Oh, yeah. Very, very up to date. Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah. Good old. Which one do you want?
Both one.
So we could have, yeah, one and two, obviously. Fionn.
Queen Victoria.
Queen Vic. Yeah. Let's get our good friend Joan back up. Interesting. Well, what did Joan of Arc famously do? How did she hide her identity?
Did she dress up in that?
Yeah. The French army against the English. But again, she masquerades as a man. Why can't she just be a woman? But she has to, yeah. Okay. Fionn? Any others?
Mary Curie.
Mary.
Curie.
Oh, Marie Curie. Oh, yeah. I was thinking about her, funny enough. Yeah. Madame Radiation. Yeah. The Dean.
Rosalind Franklin.
Rosalind.
Franklin.
Fionn.
Eleanor Troy.
And Nadine.
Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama.
Oh, good call. Yeah. Oops. Okay. Now, let's just pause for a second. We're going to the mails in a minute. What do you notice about most of those names that you've given me?
American.
No, Jack. Think of it time-wise. Think of it date-wise.
A long time ago. A long time ago.
Oh, some of them are. Well, some of them are, but vast majority of them, they're quite, in historical terms, you regard them as being quite modern. I mean, you know, obviously we've got Michelle Obama, we've got, you know, Queen Elizabeth II, we've got Kamala Harris, Amelia Earhart, Oprah Winfrey, Anne Frank, Rosa Parks. You know, they're all within 1-2 centuries. That's it. And some really modern. You've got a few that are older, obviously the Joan of Arc, Cleopatra, Anna Cleves, that sort of thing. But they tend to be quite modern. Now, let's see the sorts of names that you come up for male figures in history. Off you go, Fiona. Yeah. Fiona, Nadine.
Gandhi.
Oh, good one, yeah. Oops, can't spell it. Oh, Mr. Churchill. Fiona. Yeah. Good. Nadine?
Franklin Roosevelt.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry? Oh, yeah. Nadine?
Woodrow Wilson.
Oh, you know your Americans, don't you? You go through all the past presidents. Peter. Yeah, Martin Luther King, yeah. Nadine? Oh, going into the world of popular culture now, yeah. Well, the man himself. What's he spelling? Is it double S, isn't it? I think. Oh, Presley. Is it EY, I think. Let me check later on. I think that's on. Right. Forget who was that now. Nadine?
Muhammad Ali.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, Sir Isaac, yeah. Nadine?
Jesus.
You can't get more famous than that, can you? Yeah. Oh, interesting, isn't it? Yes. Is that you thought out there then, Pion? Yeah. You get any more that you could go for, Nadine? Abraham Lincoln. Back to our good friends. Yeah. Any more, Nadine? That's it. You kind of prove my point. I would say, I think the males, there is certainly more diversity, I think, in what you've gone from, because you've gone from like popular culture, you've gone to science, you've gone to politics, gone to sort of, you know, biology, evolution, you know, Gandhi, spiritual leader as well, Jesus, obviously, goes without saying. All of these names, and I think if you did it, you could go on and on and on, just listing males that are regarded as being, you know, major historical figures. You know, William the Conqueror, or if you come from Scotland, William Wallace, Robert the Bruce, Alfred the Great. You know, you're going way back to the sort of medieval times, down through history. You know, you could probably sort of say there are at least sort of 10 male names for every female name that you'll kind of recall. And that shows that sort of sheer weight that is against them, and it is that kind of seen through the eyes of males. It began to change a bit now, most definitely, but I mean, there's a lot of ground to be made up here, and it's this idea that, yeah, and we always tend to think, and funny enough, another collection of poetry that Caroline Duffy did, it was called The World's Wife. And again, she took these sort of famous male historical figures from myth as well as reality. But she wrote poems, and it was like Mrs. Lazarus. Mrs. Aesop, Mrs. Darwin, and even the Devil's Wife as well, sort of thing. But it's that idea, the the woman, the wife, is more often than not through history. It's just that kind of add-on. They're not kind of seen in their own right. They are the other half of the man in that respect, and being held up and venerated and that sort of thing. And so it's interesting to think about history in that sort of way. And Duffy begins to explore that kind of concept and idea in this poem. Now, here is an image that I've got, I'm sharing with you here now, of an older woman, an old lady. Yeah? What I'd like you to do, just looking at that image, what I want you to do is give me a pen portrait of that. Give her a name. Yeah? You might want to say what age she is. Where does she live? Where does she come from? Is she Welsh? Is she Scottish? Is she Irish? English? Is she European? Whatever. And just looking at that picture, that face, maybe speculate a little bit about what sort of life do you think she's led? What did she used to do before she was old? Yeah? Right, so it's 11:30 now. I'm going to give you 10 minutes, yeah, just to do that. And just feel free to go. You might think this is about bones. I just want you to react. It is about almost like creating a character here. Okay? Yeah. If you want to just pause just now and obviously complete this sort of overnight, you know, to fill out as much as you want. I just wanted to get a bit of a flavour before we finish the lesson. So, Nadine, have you given the old lady a name?
Yeah, she's called Lorraine.
Hey! And can you tell us a little more bit about her then? What sort of age is she?
She's 86.
Right.
And she used to have a night shift.
Right.
Every other day in the local pub because she's 86, so prohibition ended around then. So everyone's in pubs. Her husband's called Arthur. He used to work in the mines. He died from lung disease when he was 82. They lived in a 2-bedroom house with a toilet outside. But they were poor, but they were happy.
Oh.
And they had a kid called Jonah, who used to go to school. And then she's upset in the picture because it was her anniversary and her husband's friend that used to work with him in the mines died.
Oh, check. I think there's a series in this, you know. I think you should commission this, you know, send it into, you know, Sky or whoever. Oh, that's very good. I wonder, and carry on with it. Has great creativity there. Brilliant, really. That's very good, very good. I like that. Can you beat this, Fionn? Yeah. Nadine has set the bar high. Yeah. Let's hear what you got then. Has she got a name?
Yeah, mine's called Margaret. She's 87.
Oh, similar. That's interesting. Similar ages, only a year of a difference.
She used to be a nurse, so she was always on her feet and looking after others. But since she left her job, she feels without like purpose, and she doesn't like just sitting around on her own. She's more tired than she used to and more achy energy. She lives with her husband and they're both retired. And that's what their grandchildren.
Oh, right. Well, see, add as much as you like to that, yeah, to craft it. And again, it's great for what you get from these. I think I want to call her Doris. You know, just because it's an old-fashioned name. You know, she looks like a Doris to me. You know, yeah. I think 80 odd's a good range to pick in. Looks to me that she's in the care home. Sadly, maybe little snippets of history popping back into her head, but you know, it's that, you know, trying to recall the past that sometimes slips away from her. I think we can all see from that picture. Doesn't look. Does she look content? No. And again, what sort of emotion would you say is on that face?
No.
Yeah, it's almost as it's a heart, isn't it? Or you know, just that sort of there's a sort of blankness to it, isn't it? That you know, you're looking for that kind of human spark, don't you? You look for that sort of warmth, whatever, and it's not there. And then, of course, the wrinkles. So, what does that maybe suggest? What sort of life she's led? The heart. And we always associate, and it doesn't have to be, but you know, if we think if somebody's got really sort of wrinkles, you can think, oh, they've had a hard life. Look at all those wrinkles on their face, you know, sort of thing. But it's all those sorts of things that we can just get from that idea of the image that we have there. That's really good. Excellent. Good work there. Right. So I say, finish your pen portrait off. We've got the lesson tomorrow, don't we? Because we do it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, we do tomorrow, second period. So anything you want to add on to that, and we'll sort of recapping that again tomorrow before we sort of look a little bit into this and think about why. Because in the poem, history is kind of personified as a woman, and a woman who's like this woman, old. Yeah, and we'll think about why that Duffy might have gone down that route. Okay, but that will be us for today. Very good. Thank you. Stop the recording.